Hello everybody, Big Biddy back again with another video. It's been too long. I have been super busy recently, getting a lot of work done and just had no time really to get any videos out to yourselves, but that's changing now. I've managed to get a load recorded and I'm going to be throwing them out to you. So today, quick fire Q&A. I've got loads of questions from people over the last few weeks and I think I should catch up and answer a few of these questions. But before we get into it, a few little things I need to sort out. First of all, if you haven't seen Danny Boy Van Owner, how you doing, Danny Boy? Interviewed me the other week. It's on his channel. Please go and check it out. I'll see if I can stick a link in the bit below or the bit above or wherever you put links. Yeah, Danny Boy, go and check his video out of him interviewing me. We go through a lot of really good stuff. So if you're not subscribed to him or you don't watch his videos, go check him out. You might like him. He does similar stuff to I do. So check it out. Next up, I've been getting a lot of questions recently about vans. Should I buy this van? Should I buy this van? Should I buy that van? Is this a good van? Is that a good van? At the end of the day, I'm not a van reviewer. I do videos on courier driving. So if you ask me what's a good van, I probably don't know the best van out there. There are plenty of people that do videos on van reviews. So go check them out. I never talk about something I've never either done or tried or know nothing about. For instance, or for example, I've never done a video on Amazon. Amazon driving, whatever it's called. Because I've never worked for Amazon. Same with vans. I don't own a Renault or a Sprinter, so I don't talk about them because I know nothing about them. So if you want to find out about vans, I suggest you go and watch one of the hundreds of videos on YouTube, or go onto the Renault website, whatever, and find out from them. They can have a lot better information than I can give you. And also, just want to say, a lot of people have been leaving me comments and I haven't really been responding to them because I've been so busy. It's difficult to respond to every comment that comes through. So if I don't respond to you directly, I'll try and add your question in a video like this. Or I tend to respond to questions that I haven't thought of or are really good points or need answering. But if it's a general question, I'll leave it for a video like this and I'll answer it here because it's easier for me to answer it through a video. So let's get into it. Questions. First off, I did a video on different gear you should have for your van. Someone mentioned, should you have a pallet truck? Pallet trucks are great bits of equipment, but you don't really need one unless you have a Luton or above. Long wheelbase or below, you don't, because the forkies can get them straight on. Most long wheelbases have side doors, so you get one in the side, you can get one on the back, and the one on the back can get pushed by the next one into place, and they're easy enough to pull off. So pallet trucks are great, but only if you've got a Luton or above. If you've got long wheelbase or extra long wheelbase and below, you don't really need one. So next up, how much per mile? A lot of people are asking me how much they should charge per mile. I have got a video on this. Go check it out. I'll put a little thing at the top. It's generally the way I work it is, so long wheelbase, you're looking at £1 a mile, and then you're sort of going up and down by sort of 10p. So extra long wheelbase 110, Luton 120, medium wheelbase sort of that 85 to 95p a mile, and small van you're looking at sort of 65 to 75p a mile, or short wheelbase shall I say, 75 to 85, and then small van, so on and so forth. It's not an exact number, it's a guideline. I use it as a guideline. I sometimes charge for small van jobs the same as I would long wheelbase. I generally try and charge long wheelbase. Sometimes I'll have a long wheelbase job and I think I really don't want to do that, and I'll do it at 120 a mile and still get it. So it's a guideline, a rough guideline. But check out the video I did on that. There's a lot more information on that one. Right, next up. How much do you get paid? I aim for £200 a day is my sort of minimum I want to get. I don't always get it. Some people think I say that and I'm getting £200 a day. Sometimes I have a bad day. I get like 140 or 160, or a job goes wrong completely and I don't make much at all. Some days I smash it. Last week I did like a £500 day, and that doesn't always happen. That's a rarity, but I aim for a minimum of 200. This person, sorry, I haven't written names down again. I always do this. Said they saw a job that was paying £8 a month. Snap their hand off if it's legit. Make sure it's legit. I imagine that's for big much bigger vehicles than I've got. I've got a long wheelbase. To get $8,000 a month working for someone else, I'm guessing that was. If it's working for yourself, then obviously you've got to take costs out of it. But yeah, I don't make that much. I wish I did. One day. But yeah, I aim for about £200 a month, average about £1,000 a week before costs. So my take home, I would say, is around between the £600-700 mark. The week before last, I did 1,200 roughly. So I think my take home was about £900 that week, maybe a little bit less, maybe about £850. But that's where I aim for. So hopefully that answers that. Someone mentioned, this is the whole question. A lot of suppliers English. Not really sure that's a question. This is talking about the CX. They're all English companies, or they're all based in England, or Wales, or Scotland. So I don't see why that really matters if they're English or not. I picked up from people who are Indian, people who are Italian, people who are American, massive English firms, small English firms. It doesn't really matter. It's a job. A job's a job. You just put it on and you deliver it and you let go. So I don't see why that matters. But someone asked it, so I'm going to answer it. Yes. All right, next up. More of a statement from Steve Osso, or OSO. He basically says, people who don't think you can make £200 a day are foolish. And there was a little bit more to it, but I left it there. This goes back to my previous point. Yeah, that's sort of my minimum. I have a lot of people saying that I'm talking bollocks when I say I make £200 a day. They're obviously not doing it right, or they're not doing the same job. Simple as that. To think that you can't go out, I live in Norfolk. If I'm charging to go to London, North London is 110 miles, so I'm not going to get £110 just to go to London. If I'm looking to go to Wales, I did a job the other day going to the Wirral, up near Liverpool, 270 miles. I got £1 a mile. Picked up at like 5 in the morning. Was there. I was there for sort of 9:30, 10. So by 10 o'clock I'd made 270 quid. So yeah, there's the answer on that one. Obviously take petrol off that, so a bit less. Next up, am I a one-man band? Is it just me? Yes, it is. At this moment in time, it's just me and my van. I have other little side projects. I've got a little eBay store I have, which makes me a little bit of money, and I've got the YouTube, and I'm looking in the near future to hopefully start a podcast, which will have nothing to do with courier driving, but it is something I'm really interested in doing. It's something I want to do for a long time, but that's not the point. When it comes to the courier stuff, it is just me. I've got some of my own customers. I've got a lot of shippers that phone me directly. I do CX. I use primarily now for the second job of the day, getting me home. It's not usually my first job, but I get a lot of phone calls from people saying, I'm on the CX, I saw your number, I thought I'd give you a call because I've got this job. So it's good to be on there just for that. But it is just me. I am looking at growing my business, but this year was meant to be my big push. 2020 got started. I had a really good start to the year. I thought, right, let's start looking at possibly getting a second driver in. Let's look at getting a van. And then this massive world event, you might have heard of it, COVID-19 turned up and put a big halt on that. I'm hoping we don't obviously go back into the lockdown and everything, and we can start building again, and then I can start making that push 2021 by the looks of it. So I'm a year behind where I wanted to be, but it's the same for everyone, so I can't really complain about it. So next up, someone asked me about mobile data. How much mobile data do you need? I was running for a long time on 12 gig for my phone. That did, that does the Google Maps, the CX. It gives you loads of leftover data. One thing I tend to do, and I don't say everyone should do this, or it's probably frowned upon. A lot of time, there's people who have podcasts and various different shows on YouTube. I put that on, but I have the headphones on. It's not a watching show; it's a listening to show basically. But they're on YouTube, so I listen to a lot of stuff like that. Also, audiobooks and stuff like that. I listen to. Just use data. If you're out overnight and you don't have, you're going to use a lot of data. So 12 gig used to sort of be all right, but I found myself creeping over it occasionally. So between 12 and 18, 12 should do you, but 18 gig which I've upgraded to now, is more than enough. And the reason I've upgraded to is because I've got, I'll show you in a minute, I've got a MacBook, and I've started using that a lot for when I'm on the road as well, which is really helping. But we'll talk about more of that in a second. What do I drive? Long wheelbase. I've got a Ford transit, 360 I think it is, or 350. 350. Long wheelbase. It's a L3 H3, so your standard size long wheelbase really. And let's see. Oh, a big question, really good question I got from someone. It was, what do I see as the future of courier driving and how can we improve it? Really good question. Being a courier driver is never really going to change, but there's a lot of things that can change to make our lives better. I sort of think that there's a few big ones. The first one off the bat would be obviously with the payments, how long it takes the invoices to go through. At the moment, it's sort of anywhere between pay on the same day to 45 days from end of month. I think 30 days from invoice is more than enough, and I think that's where I would like the industry to go and make that as standard. It's not really up to me, but I am in the process of speaking to a lot of shippers and seeing how I can change that myself. I don't have any pull. I'm hoping this channel gives me a little bit, but if anyone thinks the same as me or thinks different, let me know. But I think 30 days from invoice is more than enough to wait to get paid. On the CX, it did drop from 60 days. Sorry, I got something in my throat. 60 days from end of month. That's gone down to 45 days. It's still not enough, really. I think it needs to come down to help us couriers out a lot more. The longer it is the better for the shipper. The shorter it is, it's the better for the courier. And obviously, we want things to be better for us couriers. The next thing, and I've spoken to a lot of people about this, is the what can make the industry, what I think the future of the industry is, and it's definitely looking at electric vans. They're not viable at the moment. I think most of them have a range of around 200 miles. They're very expensive, and for most people, they're just too expensive and they don't do the range. But when an electric van comes out, a long wheelbase electric van that has sort of 400 miles range, that is something I would be very interested in. And obviously, it's better for the environment. You don't get the charges like you do in when you're in London. The tax is nothing because it's an electric van, and it works out something like £8.40 to charge a car at the moment to do 200 miles. Now you think about it. So let's double that and make it, let's say that's £16.80. Let's put it up to 20 quid. 20 quid to fully charge your van. Now, bear in mind you're probably spending, what, 80 to 90 pounds to fully fill your van full of petrol at the moment, or diesel. That's a real big saving. And the biggest cost we have is petrol. So if you can drop that by 3/4, that's really going to improve how much money you're making. I think, so that's something I really would jump on when it comes about. The one thing I don't want to see happen, and it's the one thing that when I was talking to someone about it the other day, I thought could happen, is we're going to start doing that, and then everyone's going to drop their prices because we're making more money because we can afford to. Then we can sort of go, right, well, it's 100 miles. When I had a diesel, I'd charge £100, but I'm saving a bit. Let's say £80. Problem is then you're not benefiting yourself by getting an electric van. You're benefiting the shipper. So hopefully when that does happen, and I think it is the future, and everyone starts getting electric vans, we keep the price where they are and we don't drop them, because the only winner then is the shipper. It's not us, the couriers, and we're the ones who are investing in that piece of equipment, so we should be the ones that benefit from it. But I'll go into that in a lot more detail, probably in like 3-4 years' time when we actually get to that point. So, and the other thing I think which really should be changing in our industry is the fact we have to send out paper copies of invoices. It's ridiculous in this day and age when you can take a picture on your phone and send it instantly to your shipper that we are still sending out paper copies. I think COVID and where everything's happened has actually changed a lot of people's views on that. A lot of shippers say, no, we don't want paper copies now, which is great. Oh, COVID isn't, but the fact that has changed. Paper copies, obviously, you're going to get a paper copy because someone's got to sign for something, but that should be the backup. It shouldn't be the first one. If you think how much money you spend on stamps, paper, ink, envelopes each year, you know, you send out 10 invoices, you spend like 20 quid. Well, maybe not that much, but still you spend far too much money. So I think that's another thing that everyone and anyone who's listening should really be saying to their shippers, listen, we need to stop sending paper copies out, basically. That should be a backup in case the electronic copy doesn't work. That's just what I think. So yeah, that's they're the questions I've had. I hope they've helped some people and made a bit of sense. Oh, what I was going to talk about, yes. If you haven't already got one, get something like this. This is just a Chromebook. It's a little tip, which I think a lot of people don't realise, especially when on the CX, is when you're driving into an area on the CX and the jobs start pinging, they only ping after you've driven into that area. So any job that was there before you get there won't show on your phone. It'll only show on the desktop. So I don't know how many people know this or don't know this. I've never actually talked about it before, but I just thought I'd mention it. So you get one of these, you can tether it to your phone. You basically put the wire from your phone into one of these, open it up, you can use your data from your phone, get on your desktop, and then you can see the jobs that are there before you got there, and you can bid on them as well. It's really good if you're driving into an area. I had it the other day. I was Cornwall. I was driving to Exeter. I was about 20 miles outside of Exeter. I pulled over because I needed a piss, I'll be honest. And I thought, I'll just check if there's any jobs in Exeter already before I get there. Flicked it up, there was 4 or 5 jobs. I bid on one, won it, and by the time I got to Exeter, it was there waiting for me. Rather than me get to Exeter, sit there and waiting for the jobs to ping, being proactive will always help you. So yeah, that's just a bit of advice. If you can, they're not the cheapest of things in the world, but potentially will save you some money, and also you can like fling invoices out whilst you're on the road. You can do a lot with them. So they are a good bit of kit. So they might be worth just looking at getting one, maybe get one second hand. You don't need to put anything on it apart from have the internet and use it for the CX if that's what you're using it for. But real good, handy bit of kit. So hopefully these questions helped everyone. I'm going to have a video flinging every Wednesday from now on, just so you know. And if you've liked this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Go check out Danny Boy, check out our little interview. And as always, be safe out there and have a great day.